hardworking young man in his mid-30s, Daniel split his days between a day job at a local repair shop and a night shift in a small bakery. Despite long hours, his earnings barely kept a roof over his head and food on his table. But he had a dream he held close to his heart. Daniel yearned to start his own business, a cafe where people could gather, relax, and share stories. Yet with no savings and only an old, rusty car to his name, he knew that dream seemed far beyond his reach. One evening, after a grueling shift at the bakery, Daniel was on his way home. The rain had begun to drizzle, painting streaks down his windshield as he navigated the winding, barren road that led out of town. Suddenly, he spotted a figure walking along the road, a woman drenched in the unexpected rainstorm, her clothes clinging to her, shivering with each step. Without hesitation, Daniel pulled over. "Hey!" he called, rolling down the window. "Need a ride?" The woman turned toward him, visibly relieved yet cautious. She was tall, elegant, with eyes that held a mixture of vulnerability and strength. Her car, sleek but clearly immobile, was a short distance behind her on the roadside. "Thank you," she said, climbing in. She looked around his car, worn seats, a faint aroma of pastries, and scattered bits of flour from his night shift. "I'm Anna," she added softly, hesitating as she settled in. Daniel nodded. "Nice to meet you, Anna. I'm Daniel. Looks like you had a bit of bad luck with your car." Anna glanced out the window. "Yes, it just stopped out of nowhere. No one else was around." She paused, her eyes dropping to her lap. "I didn't think anyone would stop to help." "Well, everyone deserves a little help now and then," Daniel replied simply, driving carefully through the rain. As they drove, they talked. Daniel mentioned his job at the bakery and his long hours, and Anna listened intently, nodding. She admired his work ethic and his dream of one day owning a small cafe where he could share his passion for food with others. "You're really passionate about it, aren't you?" she asked, smiling warmly. Daniel nodded, his eyes shining despite his exhaustion. "Yeah, but I don't have much. No savings, just this old car and a dream that keeps me going." They drove in companionable silence for a while. Anna observed him with curiosity and respect, sensing that his kindness was genuine and that his struggles hadn't hardened his heart. When they reached the edge of town, Daniel asked, "Where can I drop you off?" "I'm staying at a hotel nearby," she replied, looking out the window as they entered the city limits. He dropped her at the hotel, giving her a small nod. "Take care, Anna. Hope things work out with your car." As Anna stepped out, she hesitated for a moment before turning back. "Thank you, Daniel, truly. Here's my card, just in case." She offered it with a warm smile, but Daniel, too humble to think much of it, tucked it into his pocket, thinking he'd never need it. The next day, Daniel returned to his routine, barely thinking about the encounter. Weeks passed, and life continued as it always had. One afternoon, though, his phone rang unexpectedly. It was a business number he didn't recognize. "Hello?" Daniel answered hesitantly. "Hi, Daniel, it's Anna." It took him a moment to place the voice, but when he did, he felt a surge of surprise. "Anna, how are you? Did your car get sorted?" "Yes, thank you for that day," she replied warmly. "Actually, I was hoping you could come by my office. I'd love to discuss something with you." Confused but curious, Daniel agreed. When he arrived at the address she provided, he found himself standing in front of a towering glass building. He walked through the grand lobby, feeling out of place in his worn clothes, and was directed to the top floor. As he entered, he was greeted by Anna, dressed in a sleek, tailored suit, exuding an air of quiet authority. She smiled at his confusion. "Daniel, welcome," she said warmly. "Please, have a seat." Still processing the grandeur of his surroundings, Daniel hesitantly sat down. Anna wasted no time in explaining. "I wanted to thank you, Daniel, for helping me that night. It's rare to find someone who's so kind and genuine, especially when there's nothing to gain in return. I'm the CEO of a venture capital firm, and I think we might have a way to help each other." Daniel's eyes widened in shock. "CEO? Venture capital? I don't understand." Anna smiled, amused. "I know this may be a lot to take in, but hear me out. I remember you mentioning your dream of starting a cafe, a place for people to gather, relax, and share stories. I'd like to help you make that dream a reality." Daniel was speechless, trying to comprehend her offer. She continued, "Here's my proposal. I'll provide the capital to help you set up your business. You'll work to make it succeed, And once it's profitable, you'll pay me back over time. But until then, you'll have the resources to get started." Still stunned, Daniel finally managed, "But why would you do this?" "Because sometimes a small act of kindness deserves to be rewarded," Anna replied with a gentle smile. "And I believe in supporting people who have dreams and work hard for them. I have a feeling you'll make this cafe something truly special." With Anna's investment, Daniel's life took a turn he had only dared to dream of. In a few months, he found himself standing in the doorway of his very own cafe, aptly named the Kindness Cafe. The interior was cozy, filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and decorated with pieces that spoke to his love for simple, heartfelt moments. Daniel poured his soul into the business, crafting every detail with care. He wanted people to feel at home, to gather and share stories, just as he'd imagined all those years. The cafe quickly became popular, with regular patrons who loved the warm atmosphere and Daniel's personal touch. Anna would often visit, quietly watching from a corner as Daniel engaged with customers, always humble, always genuine. They grew close, bonded by the unique connection formed on that rainy night. One evening, as they sat together after closing, Daniel looked at Anna with gratitude that went beyond words. "You changed my life, Anna. I'll never forget it." She smiled. "No, Daniel, you changed your life. I just helped you get started." Over the years, Daniel's cafe grew and flourished. He expanded, opening new locations and hiring a team that shared his vision for kindness and community. His journey from a struggling baker to a successful entrepreneur became an inspiration for others. And he never stopped acknowledging that it all began with a single act of kindness on a rainy night. Through the highs and lows of business, Anna remained his steadfast friend and mentor, guiding him with her wisdom. Their friendship was a reminder of the beauty that can come from unexpected connections and small acts of compassion. The day came when Daniel was able to pay back Anna's investment in full. They celebrated at the cafe, surrounded by friends and family, with laughter and stories filling the air. Daniel raised a toast, his voice thick with emotion. "To kindness," he said, looking around the room filled with people who had become his extended family. "To the people who lift us when we least expect it, and to the dreams that kindness can bring to life." And with that, the Kindness Cafe continued to thrive, standing as a symbol of what one small act of compassion can accomplish. A simple gesture, opening doors to a friendship and a life Daniel had once only dared to dream of. As you watch this story, take a moment to consider the power of kindness in your own life. We never know what someone else may be going through or how a small gesture can ripple into something extraordinary. So, the next time you see someone in need, remember that a little compassion can lead to amazing things. After all, it's often the smallest acts that make the biggest impact.